Everybody, welcome to Maxxed Out. I'm Luna, he's Lopez, and we're here to talk about the week in wrestling. We're here to talk about specifically Brock Lesnar unretiring. We're talking a little Saturday night's main event, those two IC titles going up against, and we talk about Cody Rhodes. Is this a failed run? Jose, say hi to everybody.
How's it going, folks out there? Welcome to another show.
We're back another week. And you're back with another shirt. You're wearing, this week, you're wearing the OTC t-shirt, the new one. Nice, man.
Thank you.
Later on in the show, we're going to talk about Roman. It's his birthday this week, so it's a happy week for everybody at the Bloodline, you know? So first off, I want to talk about something that actually kind of bothers me, man. Brock Lesnar, he's back. He attacked Oba Femi on this week's episode of Raw, and this is what pisses me off, man. This is what pisses me off. I've never been a Brock guy, but when I saw him retire at WrestleMania, I was like, what a WrestleMania moment. He did it on his own. He did it on his own terms. He took off the boots, and I actually was like, I give the guy credit. He pushed young talent. He made Oba look great, and a month later, here we are. Brock's back. Jose?
Brock Lesnar, the veil that was pulled over all of us, huh?
Yeah, man. It sucks.
Brock, if you follow Brock Lesnar as close as I have for many years now, I've come to know one short thing about Brock Lesnar. Well, a couple of things, but one short thing is that Brock Lesnar loves money. So when I saw his comeback, I don't even think you could call that a comeback because he wasn't gone that long. But I got curious, and I went through to a few outlets, and a few outlets are reporting out there that TKO apparently restructured some of some wrestlers back in the back. They reconstructed their contract, and apparently they did that because they wanted to make Brock Lesnar an offer that he could not refuse, right? Monetary wise. So that's what I've been reading. That's what I've been hearing in the background, that Brock got a substantial amount of money to come back, and
it's not surprising, is it? It's not surprising, right? I mean, this is what the guy, his whole career, he always comes back, big money. What you just said even pisses me off even more now. Because you're talking about like guys like the New Day are gone because they had to restructure their contract. They didn't want to. And if they're all doing it just for Brock Lesnar, I mean, it grinds my gears.
Yeah. So TKO, So TKO did that. And like I said, it's not a shocker. And Brock Lesnar took advantage of it because Brock Lesnar knows. And one thing about Brock Lesnar, folks, is that Brock Lesnar is a wonderful businessman, especially when it comes to himself. He knows that WWE does not have a worthy opponent for Oba Femi to start a feud with.
Absolutely. So he set them up.
He absolutely banked on that. And TKO, I mean, what other choice do they have? They reconstructed people's contracts, gave Brock the money, and now Brock is back. It's that simple.
Yeah. One good thing that's going to come out of this is, as Oba does now have an opponent, at least for 2 matches, I think they'd be silly not to have a third match. It'd be silly not to have Oba Femi retire Brock in Minneapolis, Brock's hometown. That's all great, right? But that doesn't make me feel better. I put my heart into his retirement, man. This is a guy that I did not really like. And now it just makes me, it enforces me not liking him.
So talking about a tearjerker, huh?
We saw so many people. We had just seen AJ Styles retire. We had seen John Cena go, and recently Asuka just semi-retired. So it was just like, you pull your heartstrings, and then you're like, nah, nope.
The thing that's messed up for me, and you touched on it earlier, that gets your gears going, is that the reconstruction of people's contracts in the back. These folks, they have families, and they out there 24/7 entertaining us. They deserve that money. And let's be honest, Brock really doesn't need all that much money because he's, as we all know, he's very well off. So, but that's Brock, and it's always been that way. He took the money for UFC, from the UFC, who he went over. UFC outbidded WWE at that time, and he took the money, did his thing in the UFC. Let's give him credit where credit is due. The man, let's make no mistake about it, folks. The man is the greatest combat athlete and the greatest decorated combat athlete of all time. Let's get that out of the way.
I give him props, man. I mean, the dude was an NFL player for a season for fun.
Yeah.
He's got all the talent in the world, but that doesn't make me happy about it. I want to move on. We're talking a little Saturday night's main event. That's this weekend. We got a couple matches. We got the 2 tag titles are being defended, and we got the 2 IC titles are being defended. I'm excited. I'm always excited for Saturday night's main event. I know they're not a PLE, but they're a little bit better than Raw, I think, right?
I mean, it's nostalgic, right? Saturday night's main event. Guys like me and you, the golden era guys, we love it because they keep it original. I love the format that they kept original. You know, the interviews, even I would like to see the ring, still be red, white, and blue with the ropes, right? Stuff like that. But you know what? I'll take it. As a golden era child, I love it, man. And yeah, to me, it's a little bit slightly better than Raw right now.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the titles, the IC titles. I know it is going to be Penta against who's he going up against, Jose? Tell me. Who's Penta going up against?
Penta's going up against Ethan Page.
Page, that's right.
Yeah.
And then I think Becky is going to be going up against Sol Ruca, not for the title, but there's a feud starting there. So 2 good Intercontinental titles.
Yep.
What do you think of Penta's run since Dominic kind of gave up that title,
Well, like in the movie The Gladiator, he tells Maximus, the guy tells Maximus, you win the crowd, you win Rome. Same thing here. Penta, he won the crowd, and now he's hot as he can be. He's not giving up that title anytime soon because he's so extremely hot that WWE ought to be crazy to take that title away from him right now.
Over on the women's side, we got Becky Lynch doing what Becky Lynch does best. This past Raw, her promo was so good. She was like, you don't deserve a title chance. You're not the prize. I'm the prize. I mean, this is Becky Lynch just being the best she can, elevating young talent like she has. She did it with Lyra. She did it with Maxine. Now she's doing it with Sol Ruca. Man, Becky really is at the top of her game right now. Bar none. She's not getting the credit she deserves, I think.
Yeah, Becky, we always knew that Becky in the mic is one of the best, if not the best female ever to do it on the mic, and really in performance-wise as well, but particularly in the mic, I don't think there's no other female that could hold a candle to Becky. So, poor Sol Ruca, it's just, I mean, she's going to learn, like Roman learned. Roman was terrible at the mic in the beginning, but now you see him now. It's an evolution that has to happen eventually.
What Sol Ruca needs to do is she needs to rely on what got her there, and that's her athletics. I mean, she is such an athletic, and she needs to be able to land that move properly and not botch it again. But man, I give her all the props in the world because she's up against, the man. She's up against the best right now. And if she could kind of show a little bit of her talent, I mean, this is a perfect time for her to elevate her game.
I spoke to it earlier. I mean, I think she's going to have a phenomenal match. I think that, Becky's going to win the match, but, I think Sol Ruca is going to win the hearts and minds of the WWE universe with the performance that she's going to have. I've seen her wrestle in NXT, and she is a phenomenal high flyer. I think that she's going to show out at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
And I think that everyone's going to be speaking about her, and that feud is just starting. So I'm looking forward to it.
She reminds me of Lita with the baggy jeans and all that stuff, and the Van sneakers and all that stuff. It just kind of reminds me of that athletic woman,
I said it before. Folks, I don't usually mention things like this, but I gotta say,
this is the first time. This is the first time in a year. First time in a year that you're actually like a little flabbergasted, a little bit like, wow, you have a crush on a wrestler.
Sol Ruca is the most beautiful woman I've seen in a long time.
We got you on tape.
I got a crush.
We got you on 4K, bro.
Ruca, yes,
that's awesome.
I'm sorry.
Let's move on a little bit. I did want to mention before we move on, we were talking about Brock Lesnar. We were talking about the UFC and all that stuff. This past weekend, I forgot all about it because it doesn't really involve WWE. It involves the UFC and involves combat sports. We saw Ronda Rousey going up against Gina Carano, and man, I was hyped up for it. I mean, all right, a little rewind a little bit, right? I had not watched wrestling for like 20 years. I had just gone away from it, and about the time of the women's evolution, around that time where Becky became the man, also around that time was Ronda Rousey coming into WWE, and I had really gotten into the UFC. So to have Ronda cross over into WWE, like I was like, what is going on there? I need to see why, and and it hooked me. It's been 8 years now, and I still haven't stopped watching WWE. They hooked me so much that I started a podcast, but I owe that all to Ronda Rousey. Now, with that said, 14 seconds or 17 seconds is not enough. Is not enough.
Folks, if you guys went to the bathroom, it was over. If you guys blinked, it was over. Now, listen, Ronda Rousey, she's a phenomenal entertainer. I enjoyed her run at WWE. I really did myself. But good Lord almighty. I mean,
it's not
17 seconds.
No,
it's not. But I mean, I don't know, folks, what to think about this match. I mean, I would like for you guys to leave some comments, and because I'm curious about what you guys think about the match and the whole result of it. We would like to hear from you guys, because I was flabbergasted at how fast this went.
I don't want to talk about that. It was what do they call it? It was already set up. It was already like predetermined and all that stuff.
We're not going to do that.
I saw somebody on TikTok said, if I wanted to watch a predetermined fake match, I would stick to the WWE. What do you say to that?
God.
Listen, kudos to both of them. They both made over $1 million each on that match. I think Ronda made about 2.2
million.
Yeah.
Yep, Ronda made 2.2, and I think she made 1.4.
Yeah, so good on them, man, and good on them for bringing back the nostalgia. People wanted to see it. I watched it, and it
was just way too fast. That's all. But hey, listen, it is what it is. It's not Ronda's fault,
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly. Now she could go have some babies, like she said. You know. Let's talk a little bit about Cody Rhodes, man. And the reason why we're talking about Cody Rhodes is because we haven't talked about Cody Rhodes. We haven't talked about Cody Rhodes since WrestleMania. We're a WWE podcast. And that's the WWE champion. You would think we would at least mention him once a week. But I've looked back, man, we haven't mentioned him at all.
No.
Is this first of all, is this thing with Gunther working, and why?
I'm gonna tell you this, I spoke on this, like a couple of shows ago. I did that Cody Rhodes' run is getting stale, through none his fault. This happens to the best of them. This happened to Hogan. This happened to Roman. This happened to the best of them. It's not Gunther's fault because he was thrown into the mix here. This is why I had a big problem with what WWE did to the Scottish Warrior, right? That was Cody's chance to go away for a little bit, because that's the only remedy. When your run gets stale, the only remedy that you have as a wrestler is to go away for a little bit.
Yeah, the problem with that was, and don't get me wrong, I think maybe Drew McIntyre should have held on to the title somehow, but because Cody Rhodes is their biggest babyface, and you had WrestleMania coming up, you couldn't have Cody there without a title, right?
I mean, technically you could, but like I said, it's just maybe they should have right after Mania, they should have dropped it back to Drew McIntyre and then give him a break that he needs, and then come back with a vengeance, the comeback of Cody Rhodes, The only thing, hype it up if you even. But
I get it, but the only reason I think they have him still sticking around is because the little kids love him.
Right, and I feel bad for Gunther because this is none his fault.
No.
He was just thrown into this, so I feel bad for him.
They're going against each other at Clash in Italy. Do you think Gunther wins the title?
I would like to say yes, but they're not going to take it away from Cody.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious. I'm really curious what happens with that.
yeah,
I'm all there. I'm all in for it. I'm actually going to cheer for Gunther.
yeah, yeah. Me too. To be honest.
Just quickly, we're going to talk about Double or Nothing, AEW Double or Nothing, and I know we had mentioned a lot about it last week because there was a hair versus title match between Darby Allin and MJF. Man, MJF has been all over the place. Super annoying, super Roddy Piper-ish. I seen him
Really.
on shows and sports shows and all that stuff, and good for him.
He's talking about his legacy. You know, he's talking about how wonderful it will be to go down as the one of the greatest of all time without he calls WWE the Machine, without the Machine. So my problem with that is the Machine is still elite and is still the number one company out there. And so how can you call yourself the greatest when you haven't been the greatest in the greatest machine that you call, in the industry? That's the problem I'm having.
It's like a baseball player saying, I don't ever want to play for the Yankees. It's like, shut up, man. You know you want to put those pinstripes on because it's the greatest of the great. Look,
don't get me started.
AJ Styles, who was an indie darling, he ended up with the WWE. You know, there's a lot of guys like this. Matt Cardona, who Mr. Indie, right? He's back at WWE. So all this BS he says that he's not going to join the WWE.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. MJF is an incredible athlete. He's an incredible wrestler. Yeah. He's got charisma going through his body like no other. He's great with the mic. I give him all that stuff. But if you want to go down as one of the greatest of all time, you gotta come to that machine and do your thing there. Other than that, you're always gonna play second fiddle to the great ones that company has provided in this industry.
Nobody ever talks about the greatest minor league baseball player ever. Listen, I know that I'm going to watch this year. I'm going to watch this match. I'm going to watch this PLE. I'm super excited for it. I'm also going to watch the AAA one coming up where it's the Noche de los Grandes. Man, that's going to be another good one, man. We're so lucky to have all these good PLEs coming up.
Oh yeah. Great time, AAA, with the Grande Americanos, I'm a big time Grande Americano fan. The original Grande Americano, okay? Let's not get it twisted.
Listen, I'm glad you brought that up because right now the original is called El Chaparrón Americano. And if anybody knows what El Chaparrón Americano means, that means he's the little midget guy. And it's so true because he ain't grande. El Grande Americano is a tall guy.
Hey, there is only one original Grande Americano, okay? And he's gonna pay, and that other fake Grande Americano is gonna pay for those comments, and he's gonna get his mask taken out and his face exposed for what he is, a fraud.
He is no longer a fraud. He's no longer fake. He took that mask, he took that name and just completely elevated it.
Original Grande Americano made that mask. He made that myth. He made that legend, okay?
That name became huge in Mexico. They love him there, man. They just love the new El Grande Americano.
They love that.
Mad props to Ludwig Kaiser for just doing what he needed to do. He was put in a position where it was a joke. He was like, oh, this is going to be a joke for your career, but you got to take over this mask. And what did he do? That dude, he knows 6 languages. He elevated. He started talking to the Mexican crowd.
I give it to Ludwig in that regards that he made the best of it. He filled in amicably when the original Grande Americano was hurt. I give him that. He ran with it. I give him that much. But you know what now? Partner? The original, the best, El Grande Americano is back, baby. And that's right. He's going to be the only one from now on.
Right here, right now, there is absolutely no way that Chad Gable wins the mask versus mask match. Right now, there's absolutely no way. It's going to be El Grande Americano the one.
I am Babe Ruth in it. The original El Grande Americano wins that match.
With that said, we're going to start closing out the show. We're going to talk a little bit about birthdays. But before we talk about birthdays, we're going to talk a little bit about congratulations to Iyo Sky. She
Hey, before we do that though, I forgot to ask you.
Yeah, sure.
Who do you think is going to win, MJF or Darby and Allin?
I think MJF is going to get a haircut. We're going to see that. We're going to see that live. We're going to see MJF
That's bold.
Getting his haircut unexpectedly.
Folks,
nobody's going to...
Folks, you heard it at MaxxedOut. MJF is getting a haircut. And he said that's part of... And by the way, he said that was part of his legacy. So there's no way he said he's going to lose. So there you go.
We're going to talk next week about the Clash in Italy and about Double or Nothing. We're going to talk about the whole cards. We're going to predict all our matches and all that stuff. So this is just kind of a preview of what's going to happen next week. But yeah, I'm going to call it out. He is definitely going to get a haircut. So that's that.
I love it, partner. You are out there now, man. That's awesome.
Listen, don't pay attention to what I think. I was completely wrong on Jacob Fatu. I'd say Jacob Fatu was going to have the title for a month, and that's not happening. So I'm just a little out there with my calls. But hey, when it happens, it happens. I was really good last year when I called Jade Cargill, I called Stephanie Baker, I called a lot of them. But I've been really bad this year.
Hey, listen, I want to see MJF get a haircut. But
last year,
I think MJF is going to win it. I don't see him getting a haircut.
You think he's going to win the title back?
I think he's going.
I would like to see Darby Allin hold the title a little bit longer.
I would like to see him get a haircut like Adrian Adonis got a haircut at Mania.
Well, Darby Allin's not getting a haircut. It's not a haircut versus haircut match. It's a haircut versus title match.
No. I'm talking about MJF.
I would love to see that.
Get a haircut like Adrian Adonis did.
I would love to see that. It'd be so great.
The great Adrian Adonis. Okay.
The great Adrian Adonis. That dude was Goldust before Goldust started, man. He really was.
That's right. And I got a lot of respect for Adrian Adonis because for a big person, again, moved real swiftly in that ring.
So that brings us to birthdays. And by the way, congratulations to Iyo. That brings us to birthdays. I want to talk about three main guys this weekend. Maybe it'll throw in a fourth. The first one, Bryan Danielson. He was... the leader of the Yes movement, and everybody going, yes, yes, yes.
The Yes Man, the Yes Man.
This was about the time I had just returned to WWE. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know who this little guy was, and I didn't know why he was carrying a wooden belt. So, Jose, tell me a little bit about Bryan Danielson. The Dragon? Is the American Dragon? Yeah. Is that his name?
That Daniel Bryan, man. The funny thing is that a lot of folks may remember this, that, watched his evolution. He started that yes thing to annoy the crowd, and the crowd will boo him unmercifully because that time it was annoying to the fans. It was so annoying to see this guy turn around and just keep saying yes, and people will boo the hell out of him until he started gaining some ground with the fans, with the feud that he had with Triple H, and all those great matches. He started gaining respect from the fans, and all of a sudden, you see his music pop up, and all of a sudden he starts going yes, and now all of a sudden the crowd was, they were outvoicing him with the yes, to the point where before you used to hear him just say yes because nobody was doing it, and now all of a sudden the arenas, the crowd was like going yes, 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 so you couldn't hear him anymore.
Was there a moment where I think WWE was going to give the title to Roman, but the crowd wanted Bryan Danielson so much that WWE had to shift and give the title to Daniel Bryanson?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, the WWE brass, their plan was to put it on Roman, and they realized that the Yes movement was gaining ground, and then they pivoted, and then they bestowed it on Daniel Bryan, and the rest is history.
That's one good thing WWE knows how to capitalize on a moment.
They listen. Yeah, they listen. Yeah,
like the yeet. So when everybody started yeeting, they gave the title to to Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for them for putting that in there.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to talk about now one of the icons of the sport. One of these dark characters that I'm not really a fan of, but I can respect what he's meant. Let's talk about Bray Wyatt. He has a birthday this week. His brother also has a birthday this week. So let's talk about the Wyatt family and what he meant. What he meant to the modern day era of WWE.
I spoke about, I touched on it a little earlier with Bray Wyatt, a great performer, great in-ring performer. I mean, his charisma was out of this world, and it was something about his voice and something about his laughter that was so captivating. Just to hear him laugh and all those promos that he cut, he was like he cut one of the best promos that I've ever seen in such a short amount of time. WWE once saw him as a Phenom's replacement. We went from Taker to now you're the new Phenom in WWE. And there was a moment that Taker went into the ring with him and gave him a hug. He said something in his ear. I can only assume, because he never spoke about it, but I can only assume Taker giving him the torch. Now you're the Phenom now. Go get him. And it was a very touching moment between the two of them.
Big shoes he had to fill with the Undertaker. Unfortunately, it got cut short a little bit because he's dealing with a lot of mental stuff. But yeah,
and that's the tragedy, and that's the tragedy of this whole thing, because Bray, I can only imagine what he could have accomplished if he would have stuck around a little longer with us in WWE. Maybe he would not replace the Phenom as the Phenom, but like I said, he was a great wrestler, and I think he would have accomplished way more if he would have just stuck around. Left us too soon.
Just one more thing about him. One of my favorite moments about Bray Wyatt was the match that he did with John Cena, where he went through his whole career. Really cool stuff. That was one of my favorite moments with Bray Wyatt. And now we're gonna end the show with your favorite dude, Wyatt. Happy birthday to our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, the bloodline, all that good stuff. Jose, I'm gonna give you the time because this is your dude.
There is only one, God, the tribal chief. What a privilege, what an honor has been as a fan to have rode with him from the very beginning when he was getting booed unmercifully out of the building, and me as his fan expecting the tribal chief to come out, but it never did. And then he went away for a little bit. And I remember thinking to myself, what a tragedy that is, because he has it. I knew it back then, and I've always said it, he had it. I felt like it was such a tragic that I thought at the time he was never going to reach that potential, because for some reason, I don't know who was holding him back, whether it was WWE or something, I don't know. But I wanted that tribal chief to come out, that aggression, to give it back to the fans that were booing him. I was expecting that. 2020 came, the business was in trouble because of COVID, and then finally the tribal chief was let out with Paul Heyman by his side. He came out there, and the aggression that he came back with, I've never seen, and that was the aggression I was waiting for all these years. So when he came back in such manner, I was out of this world. I mean, there is the guy right there that I've been waiting for all these years.
I know that in the past, when we've talked about Roman Reigns, I did want to bring up when I came back to starting watching WWE during the whole women's revolution and all that stuff. Roman Reigns was, to me, when I saw Roman Reigns, he looked the part. He looked like a WWE world champion. He looked like a top guy. He looked like
he has it.
But I didn't understand at the time why the fans weren't accepting him. They were just like booing him. They were like, and I was like, this is the dude. This is the man. Look at him. He looks like the part. Yeah.
Because being part of the Anoa'i family, right? It's like a double-edged sword, especially when you're starting in the business, So now the fans felt a certain way. The fans felt that they were giving it to him, because of his roots.
Kind
because
of
his family.
like Rocky Maivia when he first started.
Right.
Kind of that.
Exactly.
Everybody booed
The Rock,
Rocky.
The Rock, it's so funny because their careers are like parallel to each other. Because The Rock, at some point, was booed unmercifully, and what happened? And when I mean they let The Rock out, I mean they cut him loose. Okay, you know what? You giving it to me, I'm going to give it right back to you guys. And that's what I was expecting from Roman, until finally, there he was in 2020, choking everybody out with the guillotine.
Yeah.
And I mean the intensity that he used to do it with, it was. I mean, as a fan, I was like, that's my guy. That's what I've been waiting for all these years. And for now, for me to witness what he has become, it's been unbelievable. And it's been a dream of mine to one day, hopefully, down the road, MaxxedOut gets to meet him and interview him. That's our dream. That's my dream,
Hey,
because
Roman,
I got a lot to say to him.
I know the Bloodline family is pretty big, so if somebody is listening to this, hey, get him on the show. We would love to have him.
Please.
With that said, man, it was another great episode of MaxxedOut with Luna and Lopez. We'll be back next week. Like I said, we're going to talk predictions for Clash in Italy and for Double or Nothing. And that's all we got for you this week.
Yeah, we're on the road to Clash of Italy now, It's going to be a great one. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in once again. And take care of yourselves, folks.